Welcome to the Indie Artist Survival Showcase. I'm here with Feed the Kitty today. Today I talk with Feed the Kitty about what it's like to be doing music full-time, getting their songs on the radio, TV, and into film, and then going viral. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to my channel. You'll learn all about becoming a successful indie musician here in Southern California and hear awesome live music from some of my favorite upcoming artists.
So good to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys. It's been about a year and a half since I first interviewed you for South Bay TV.
Yeah, now we're all friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like the first, one of the first interviews I ever did.
And you must have thought, who are these crazy old men?
And I hung around.
There you go.
No, but I remember you guys invited me out anytime I wanted to come sing. And
That's right.
I've jumped on stage with you many times in the past year.
We gave you carte blanche.
Yes.
That's like French or something. But yeah, you have the invite, the open invite to come play with Feed the Kitty anytime. And that isn't just for anyone. That is for you.
I feel extra honored.
You're welcome.
I even got to go to Beach Life with you guys.
Yes, that was fun.
That was so fun.
And then we all got COVID. No.
Well, I didn't get COVID.
I know, I'm kidding.
But honestly, that was such a cool show. We got to see, the full band. I know we've got two, you guys are the core members, but we've also got Jon on drums usually. Yep. And your fourth.
We had Oliver Roman on guitar that day, who we don't deserve him, but if he wants to play with us, he also has carte blanche.
And yeah, that was so fun. And I know he played the it was right before 4th of July. I think you guys did the street fair in Redondo. And I rediscovered one of my favorite songs of yours during that time, which was
Road Less Traveled.
Yes,
Road Less Traveled, yes.
Thank you. I should remember the name. It's my favorite song.
Cool.
Yeah. So thank you guys for jumping on my new series.
Our pleasure, our honor, our duty.
I think last time we talked for like 3 hours or something.
Yeah.
It was a very long conversation.
Yeah, we were probably very hyped up on caffeine or something at the time, so not much has changed.
Yeah.
I'm no longer drinking, which sucks.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, but I hate it.
How long has it been?
What, June 1st was the last time I had a drink, yeah.
Wow.
Because like I said, I got COVID in May after the Beach Life Festival.
Wow.
And then after that, I couldn't drink anymore. It was like half of a beer, I was buzzed, I was spinning, I was nauseous. It was all the bad things about drinking with half a drink. And so I took a break, and I've been on this train, and I feel good.
Well, welcome to the club.
I know. It's the AA meeting right now.
Hi, I'm Courtney.
I'm Jack, and I'm an Irish alcoholic.
I'm also an Irish alcoholic.
The best kind.
Oh, man. Well, that's huge. I think, that actually, I was listening to a podcast that all about digital marketing because, I do a little bit of that along with music. And one of the big trends that they were calling out for this next year that they already started to see growing in 2022 was non-alcoholic cocktails and tons of fancy drinks, non-alcoholic.
Yes.
So it's, I think it's, clearly according to Pinterest, it is a trend.
It is a thing, and I found myself doing it too. I will go, and if everybody's ordering a drink, I'll be like, do you have anything fun with no booze in it? And they go, coming right up. And it's got, blackberries or mint leaves or, fizzy, liquids in there. But it's good.
Yeah.
If you like sugar.
Go-to? Yeah.
Do you like sugar?
I do like sugar.
I love sugar.
I also like soda water and lime. That's like my number one go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are an alcoholic.
What about you?
I'm just kind of water and coffee at this point.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I did ginger beer for a while, but also lots of sugar. It's like a ginger ale, but more sugar and more ginger.
I like a nice ginger beer with a bite.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some vodka.
No more.
No.
No more. Well, you guys are my first guest where y'all are making music full time. So I think that's a really big deal.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, join the club, man.
I'm working on it.
It's not easy.
How do you get there? Tell me everything.
Dude.
I mean, really, May of 2008, we were broke, living on our girlfriend's couches.
That's how we got there.
And I'll never forget calling Jack and I said, dude, do you want to try to play every night and make this our full-time job? And he said, book it all.
And so you've been the manager ever since, right?
Yeah.
Kind of leading booking.
Yes. Manager, finance guy. And when I'm lonely, he's my groupie. No, I'm kidding. And Jed does it all. Jed is a he's a Jed of all trades.
Yeah, I do most of the booking, and we just started one gig at a time. And they kept inviting us back. We were doing something right.
Was it mostly covers that you started with?
Yeah. Well, in 2006 and 2007, we got into a recording studio, recorded an original album. We got a couple songs placed in some movies and TV shows, and we thought we were going to get signed and take it to the next level right there, and we realized that maybe wasn't going to happen, and we started learning cover songs. Mm-hmm. And that started to pay the bills. And then we started to slip in our originals, and we just kept writing and recording. And eventually our fans started requesting our original music. And now we see them singing our lyrics back to us. And
so cool.
That really means a lot. There's nothing wrong with playing cover songs. Yeah. Didn't the Beatles play cover songs?
That's what they did.
When they cut their tape?
Yeah, they, every night, man, for hours a night, like we do.
Right.
You know, not that we're the Beatles, but, that's kind of what it takes. You kind of have to just say, I'm not doing anything else, and this is my life now. It becomes your entire life. Yeah. And it never stops. Whenever you're on stage and you get off, you're still working because you're booking shows. I'm worried about the next, set of songs. Mm-hmm. I'm worried about remembering lyrics on the next podcast we're on and things like that. So your focus becomes like what you've always dreamed it would be, to make music, to rehearse songs, to learn new to write material.
And then record it. A girl asked me the other day, she's like, what do you like to do for fun other than, all this music? And I couldn't really come up with anything. Yeah. Like, I like to go to comedy shows.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. I see you in
I'm managing shows. A comedian, so it's like, where does it end?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely is all-consuming. I was thinking about that for myself this year, like, I love it. And I spend most of my time doing it, and I'm realizing like maybe I can find more of a balance, but also that's really hard, because it's like there's just endless work to be done.
It truly is.
Yeah.
For a decade there, I just wrote. I didn't stop.
Yeah.
I was coming home from a gig, exhausted, writing, waking up, writing in my car, writing in my jacuzzi. It just didn't stop. And then finally it did. The pandemic was kind of the final 2 years of all this writing. And after that, I was like, wow, I don't know if I have anything left here.
You mean after the pandemic? Like, you didn't have any material to write after that?
Well, for me, I had a lot of
the greatest trauma-inducing event of our
time.
Yeah,
for me, I had a lot of inspiration to write. And on this new album that we're going to release here soon, 8 of the 10 songs were written during the pandemic. So they were all inspired. I don't know if any of those songs would have even happened. 2 of them were written just before the pandemic. So it's really kind of this pandemic album. I remember during it, we kept saying, oh, we're going to get all this great music that's going to come out of it. Yeah. I haven't heard too much great music on the radio.
I mean, maybe this is just the very beginning. Like, you guys are just starting to get the record out there.
Sure.
I'm writing my first full record this year.
Cool.
Also, a lot of the songs, I'm finding little notes and pieces that I've started writing during the pandemic,
Yeah.
And I've been trying to go into it with an open mind, like maybe, I don't need to write about that, but I think there is so much to unpack.
We all went through a lot during that.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed just sitting at home and writing music for 2 years straight. I really did. Jack and I didn't realize we could do this over Zoom. We used to drive an hour to each other to make time for that. Then it was, dude, I got an idea. Let's jump on a Zoom call here. And we got so much done.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to put this album out and let the world hear this. Who knows who will end up listening to it, but it felt really good.
I remember when we did our first interview, you were telling me about Clubhouse.
Yeah, that was
that was right before the pandemic? Or?
No, that was like February of 2021. So we were still in it, but we hadn't gotten back to full speed.
Gotcha.
It's a social media app where it's just you're talking. There's not too much visual. You just get on there, and all these people are on there talking, and it really hit at the right moment there. And I got addicted to it for a week. I couldn't put it down. And I enjoyed it. It was an outlet there to connect.
It's like talk radio.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We all need that human connection. And I don't know if we really realized that until the pandemic. So that was really cool. And then I made Jack get on there, and we ended up... something really kind of profound happened when I was in one of those rooms, and I turned it off. I picked up the guitar and wrote the first verse. Jack jumped on there, and then we finished it live on Clubhouse. It was kind of an interesting thing. We've never done that before. And Jack ended up writing the chorus and the second verse, and we recorded it. And that's a single right now, and it's going to be on the new album.
Cool.
New album called Lost and Found. We got a title track on there. Something we wrote right before, and I was going to mention, we were talking about drinking. That song's about coming down from a 20-year party. And I say, we'll pass the time, make it a tonic and lime.
Yep.
What was the name of the song?
That's called Lost and Found.
Oh. Well, Lost and Found, I thought that was about the jacket. Or that's on there.
No,
Is that not on there?
Mother's Intention.
That's Mother's Intention.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But it's all tied together.
Okay.
I can't believe I wrote a song, and we were going to call the album Lost and Found,
That's
and then
so
the
funny.
whole jacket thing happened. So...
The listeners may not know about the jacket
wow.
thing.
So Lost and Found happened before the jacket.
It did.
It did.
Okay, that is crazy.
I know. I know.
Should we tell people about the jacket?
The whole thing was serendipitous. I played high school football. I ordered a Letterman jacket my senior year. My mom couldn't afford to pay for it when it was time to pick it up. I went down and designed the jacket, and it was just one of those things. We just left it and never picked it up. I moved on with my life. Fast forward.
So you thought.
Yeah. Fast forward to November of 2021. This is like 28 years later. My brother, who lives 3.5 hours outside of where we grew up in Scottsdale, Arizona, walked into a thrift store randomly, and he called me and said, "Dude, is there any way I'm looking at your Letterman jacket from high school?" I'm like, no, I think is long gone. He sent me a picture, and immediately I knew that was it. And the story went viral around the world.
Yeah, you were on Kelly Clarkson's show.
Yeah, Inside Edition, the New York Post, the Daily Mail. I mean, it just didn't stop. It was... I seriously feel like I could win a Grammy one day and not get even close to that much attention.
Yep. Oh, man.
Unbelievable. We were kind of coming out of the pandemic. It was this feel-good story that the world wanted to hear. Jack said, "You made the world happy for 5 minutes," and that really felt great. Yeah. It really did.
Well, and Tom Hanks was even interested.
Yeah, the Beach Life Festival. We opened for Rita Wilson, his wife, and he's backstage. And I had the jacket because I put it on during Mother's Intention. And I got to tell Tom Hanks about the story, and that was just super surreal to tell him that. And he said, "Dude, that's a great story. I'm going to steal that idea. It sounds like a movie." And we'll probably see a movie coming out that I'm not a part of.
Starring Tom Hanks. I'm pretty sure he's the guy who gave me COVID at the Tom Hanks disease at the Beach Life.
Oh, man.
He was the first celebrity that had it. That was when we all knew it was real.
Oh, no, Tom Hanks has it. This is real.
So where were you when you found out Tom Hanks has COVID?
I remember. I was in my house for 2 years.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I remember that. No, it's crazy. And, we tried to think up a way to manufacture a viral story to get a little press for the band, you know?
Oh, for years.
And we
years.
couldn't, we couldn't come up with anything. This thing just kind of landed in our lap, and before you knew it, Jed was on Kelly Clarkson, the show.
Well, CNN mentioned Feed the Kitty, which was really cool of them. And
our Spotify plays went up. What was it like?
Like 5,000% in 24 hours. So
that's crazy.
Just the power of that. It's interesting when you're trying to put something out all your life, and sometimes it feels like nobody cares, and then something like this happens, and your phone doesn't stop ringing.
Well, and I mean, okay, just one of the parts of the story that I thought was really cool was your mom actually said she was going to leave a sign.
Yeah,
right?
she did. She passed away in 2012. Said she was going to leave us a sign. I never saw it. And hey, if that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Was it divine intervention? I don't know. And that's what we question in the song.
Mother's Intention, the song.
Well, I don't think I've heard Lost and Found yet, then. Unless
you
guys have
definitely heard it.
You've heard
okay.
it. We've been playing it for years.
Okay.
It's
I probably know all the words to it, honestly.
You
guys
probably
have
do.
played it out.
You probably do. It's one of my favorite songs. It's real moody, a lot like me.
Nice. How many records have you guys put out in your career as a
I think
band?
this is going to be number 6. Well, we put out a live album. I don't know if that counts or not.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, a live album counts. So this will be number 6.
Yeah.
Nice. Where did you record the live album?
That was in New York City at a place called Pianos.
Oh, yeah. I know Pianos.
Yeah, we flew out there for one show, and
Did you just get it from the board?
From the board, the guy said, hey, I could record you. And I said, let's do it. We listened back to it. It sounded great.
Nice.
I remember I had no voice at the time. So when I was doing the show, I'm like, this is probably horrible. And then I listened back. I was like, wow, I think we could release this as a live album.
Wow,
so, you never know, especially when you're in the moment, how good the take is or whatever.
Totally.
I experience this all the time when people come up with their phones and we're playing, and they'll video tape record me. Look, I'm an old dude. They video
Big
you.
old tape recorder.
With a huge camera. No, and they come up and they go and you're playing and maybe you flub a word or a note or you don't hit something right and you think, oh great, now that's going on the internet forever. But then you'll listen back and you go, you know what, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's one thing that we actually saw happen because we've been playing for so long.
Yeah.
Is that the more and more people with their cell phones coming up. And at first, I used to be like, kind of, oh no, they're recording us. Oh shoot, you know, like oh no.
Make you nervous, maybe.
Now you can't be that way.
Well, it makes you play a little better.
Makes you play better.
Hopefully.
And you know what?
Hopefully,
and you know what? And it does put that in your mind, so that the whole time you're like, people are always listening. They're always checking you out, even if you don't think, even if they're in the middle of a conversation with somebody else.
Right.
They're hearing you. They know when you screw up. They know when you do good, and that sort of thing. So it kind of forces your hand to play better all the time.
Yeah. Extra pressure.
Yes.
Or
which isn't a bad thing.
Another layer, maybe, that it can be amplified so easily through a phone.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's been kind of a new, not new, but a phenomenon we saw develop over the years. Now everybody's got their phone out. And the other thing that people do too is they'll come up and if you're singing a song, they'll try to Shazam you. Have people done that to you?
No.
Oh, yeah. And it actually
I'm waiting for the day.
It doesn't work that way. It actually analyzes the recording, the WAV file.
Right.
And that's how you Shazams. But I guess there's an app that can do it it can like recognize the lyrics or something. But
well, I know that there are like lots of developments happening with that sort of thing to track live recordings for, so that we can get royalties.
So we can get royalties and or get our stuff pulled from the internet. Yes.
Yeah.
Because there was back in the day, Prince had an entire army of people who would just sit on the internet all day looking for copyright infringements, and they would pull it. So, like, if somebody recorded us doing Purple Rain and put it on YouTube, I'm telling you, 30 minutes later,
it'd be gone. It
would be gone. And this is before all of that crazy scanning technology and stuff like that. These were actually people scouring the internet, because Prince wanted his royalties and he didn't want to lose any money. And, you know, that was the old school way of thinking about this stuff.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I love your guys' version of Purple Rain.
Thank you.
I don't know if it's out there on the internet anymore,
You know,
but now that Prince is gone.
Now that he's gone, you can find any and almost every Prince thing on YouTube and the internet now. I think now that they've also figured out a way to kind of monetize the stuff with advertising that makes up the difference of your royalties or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but if you want to go see a Prince concert from 1982, you can find it on YouTube now.
Yeah.
And it's awesome because, man, there's just so much out there.
Yeah.
And when you've gone 15 years on YouTube with no Prince and then there's nothing but Prince, it's just like Christmas.
Amazing. What about like before you guys had this extra, you know, viral moment? Mm-hmm. How did you go about getting people to listen to your music? Because I know like you have a huge following here in the South Bay and you tour like every summer. I'm guessing. I just know you did this last summer.
Last couple summers, we've been able to tour.
Yeah. What about, you know, obviously, like, because of the pandemic and TikTok and everything, the focus shifted on that because there wasn't a lot of live shows. But, you know.
It's hard to get people to listen to your music.
Yeah.
Us just playing every single night, and you got to play those originals. Mm-hmm. I think that's how we got people to do it. Some film and TV placement can definitely help.
Yep. The other thing, and this is another kind of over the span of 15 years we're noticing, is that we would make CDs. Remember those? Those are compact discs for all of you millennials out there. But we would use these CDs as almost a glorified business card and pass these out. So that was one way of getting the tunes out there. But nowadays, nobody has a CD player anymore unless it's in their old car.
Yeah, I think there are people listening to our music in their cars because they only have one CD to put in there.
Yeah.
And then it lives in there.
That's true.
So there, and then you don't see those, you know, diagnostics on streaming.
Sure.
No.
So, but then when you see people singing our lyrics back to us, like, well, they must have been listening to our music.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, I mean, some of these songs are catchy, like Darlin', and it's interesting when there's people that have never heard the song and they're singing it on the third chorus.
Yep.
That really makes me happy.
Yeah, me too. And I was saying before, it's funny because I remember back when people are singing the lyric, I can remember Jed or me writing it. And so I'm having this moment of, oh my gosh, that's so cool, they're singing the song. And oh my gosh, that's so funny, I remember when I wrote that line. And it's just a really cool experience as a songwriter, you know, when you're able to see it affect people out there and remember where it came from originally. It's just a real trip.
Yeah, I think songwriters can be what is it, glutton for punishment.
Oh yeah.
So if it's a love song or a breakup song, it really brings you back.
It does.
Every time you play it.
Yeah. Oh no, all those memories come flooding back in.
But some of those are the best songs.
Yeah, yeah.
And how else do we get our music out? So nowadays, how are we going to do it, Jed? I mean, do we get like a download card or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I keep going back and forth every day saying, because I do want to make it. It's fun to hand out those CDs, and people like something physical, and you can see who played on the album.
Yeah.
Anything else, it would be a great outlet as well, but I'm just not sure. We haven't decided yet.
Maybe you could do a CD with a download code on the CD.
Yeah.
On the outside cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be cool.
I know we're just kind of spitballing here. This is now turning into a band meeting, but that might be the best of both worlds.
Yeah, that would.
Because then you have
or
your
even
business
a QR
card
code on there.
You got your CD and you got your QR code.
Right.
You got your MySpace address on there for your MySpace page. But we'll I mean, we're still trying to figure out what the best is.
Yeah.
Do you have any insight on that?
I mean, everyone tells me I need a QR code on everything.
Yeah.
Which I think they're the ugliest things in the world. I hate them. I don't know. I guess it makes sense, you know. But I've seen some like what is it, RIF, RDF? I forget what the technology is called, but it's like similar to a QR code where you scan it, and then people can like put their own memories of the show, or like there can be already exclusive content uploaded. But I think the problem with a lot of these technologies is like if it's not already like something people have, it's a little bit more confusing for somebody to figure out. So it's like, even to explain it, like if I can't explain it correctly, how am I going to expect other people to like get on board with it, you know?
People are more on board with the QR code now.
Yeah, well, and that was totally the pandemic that.
Yeah, and we've even now have a little thing on our tip jar or tip tree, cat tree, that you can scan and people can tip that way. I guess that's kind of the new way to go, because everybody's got a phone,
right?
And everybody can scan that thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I, because I do digital marketing, like on the side, I have tons of ideas of how I want to put myself out on the internet. I mean, this is one of them, obviously.
Yes.
But, that's something that I've been working on too. And I listen to like multiple different YouTube channels about how to do it. But it definitely takes a lot of planning, and I don't put makeup on like this every day, you know? Well. So it's like, if I get ready for a gig, I'm going straight to the gig. I'm like balancing all these different things. So,
it's a whole new world. I mean, I am up for any and every idea, because you never know which one is going to stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you might even innovate something.
Yeah.
Before, if you're not careful. You might even be like the next person to figure out how to. Now we've been doing a lot of like we've gotten some radio play as well.
That can help. I think the radio's still valid. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't either. But people hear our stuff there, and they reach out and go, "Oh my gosh, I just heard your song on the radio," and I guess that's cool.
Yeah.
And it gets the name out there. People are always like, "Feed the kitty." What the hell is that?
It cannot hurt.
How did you get in touch with these? I mean, I'm assuming you organized it, because I feel like you're a master networker. But
yeah, I mean, some of this radio play was on 88.5, which has left the dial. It's independent, and that is just networking, and really, there was at Westfield Topanga up in Woodland Hills where I live, there was their own little, it was called the Fishbowl, and the DJ would sit in there, and you could like go up to this window and watch him work. And 88.5 is over in Northridge, where the main station is. And I would we ended up playing a show for them there.
Right.
And then I met Jim Nelson, and then I would just go there, wait for him to come out and say hi to him. And I kept doing that.
Nice.
And I was like, well, he's either going to, put a restraining order on me,
Yeah.
or he's going to listen to our music. And he did, and he liked it,
Nice.
and he played it. So that was really cool. Building those relationships is huge.
Yeah, yeah.
Huge.
Well, so one thing I listened to recently, this guy has a show, it's called Muse Formation, like Muse Must Information, it kind of looks like. And he, talks about building your community online.
Yeah.
So, that's something that I've been like thinking about, like, how do I go about that? Da, da, da. But I think you actually gave me some of the best advice ever on the first interview we did, which was just like, go outside. Like, just
get out of your house. Get out of your bed, go outside. I know you're not going to. Well, you can do a lot from your computer.
You can.
days.
Yeah.
But getting out there and talking to these people, like when I booked all these shows back in the day, I would go to the bar. You call up, find out the name of the booker, and then say thank you, and then you go there.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you the countless hours and hours and hours. I still stop by these places.
Yeah.
And
because you have a relationship now.
Yeah. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, you were wanting to get a gig at the Beverly Hills Hotel, or which one was it?
The Four Seasons.
Four Seasons and those things. And I guess you showed up there every week for years. For years, dude.
I did.
He showed up every week for years. Eventually, we got a gig there. and we got many gigs there.
Yeah, then the same guy was booking the Beverly Wilshire, and the Dolphin Hill Resort, and the Beverly Hills Hotel, and we got dialed in to those places. Yeah, that took years.
Took years.
Do you guys still play up there?
You know, since the pandemic, no, and I'm not sure if the live music's back at these places or not.
Okay.
I've been waiting for that phone call, but I'll tell you what, I'm gonna reach out here soon, just to see if he's still a part of it or. Those were really great gigs. I mean, talk about exposure. Anybody could be there. And that was so fun.
What's one of your favorite celebrity encounters?
Oh man. What is one of our favorite celebrity? I mean, we had when Wee Man sat in with the band. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was at Mickey Finn's in Redondo.
Yeah, that was great.
He's all over the South Bay. But like, I mean, at that Four Seasons, I mean, we saw a bunch of people there.
Yeah.
I mean, Richie Blackmore was sitting on a table one time. Travis Barker.
Did you ask him to sit in with you? Blink the kitty.
There's so many you can't remember them all. You know, there's so many. Who's the little guy from Game of Thrones?
Yeah, what's his name?
Dirk Diggler.
No, Dinklage. Peter Dinklage. Yeah, he was there one time.
Dirk Diggler is another.
I don't watch movies or TV, so I forget these names. But the lead singer Kevin Cronin from REO Speedwagon sitting there, and it's just those are surreal moments. Jeremy Piven was out at one of our shows.
Oh, and then those athletes. It was like the Big Hurt from the White Sox.
Frank
Thomas was in there. I remember him as the Big Hurt. The coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers was there.
I'm blanking on his name. Bill Cowher. Those are when you're like, oh, I better play good here.
Yeah.
You're in the Army now. Yeah, sort of thing.
You just never know who's going to be there, and that is at any gig.
Gig.
That's true.
Every gig leads to another gig, and even when there's a handful of people there, and you don't think anybody's listening, you better play good there too, because those gigs will lead.
Yeah.
Texas Lucy's led to Eagle Rider, and it just goes on and on.
It goes on and on.
The gig at the Outside Mall in Tustin led to a corporate gig for General Electric at the Laguna Niguel. No, the Ritz-Carlton.
Ritz-Carlton, sorry.
Which led to a month in Italy where we backed up a female vocalist. I mean, that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
When you look at that.
That's so cool.
And that started with the Key Club. It just goes on and on and on.
And some of those gigs, like that Tustin gig, was one of the worst gigs we've ever had.
What made it so bad?
It was so bad. First of all, this is back before I realized, you need a cart to carry your stuff around.
Yeah, the load-in was horrible.
So the load-in was horrible. There was nobody there. Nobody cared. But
one person cared.
Yeah.
But what happened was... Feed the Kitty's name was on their website on a calendar of entertainment.
Yeah, the promotion that goes along with that stuff.
So this dude, Daryl Dorr, who is a player, man, this guy is way in the business, was just looking for a band to back up this project or for this Ritz-Carlton gig, and just said, Feed the Kitty, and called us from that calendar on the Tustin Mall's website. The worst gig of all time. But that's how he saw our name. And hired us to do that show, and then hired us to do a month in Italy, which was an epic, epic time.
And even Roscoe's Deli in Chino Hills, we used to drive all this way, and it was a great gig, but we didn't know what we were doing there. And a girl that ended up working for the Angels, the Anaheim Angels, saw us there, and she recommended us for one of their gigs. We're still doing that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And We've played a handful of them for them, and then recently they had us play on the field.
That's so cool.
So 1 minute you're in this deli, and the next minute you're on the field.
You're on second base. Anaheim Stadium, bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth.
They're putting us up on the Jumbotron during that. Dude. It really felt great.
Wow.
So those are like, I don't know, you call that like a payoff? I don't even know. I don't even know what the final payoff is.
It's a notch in your belt, It is a kind of a notch in your belt. And these things build incrementally as well.
Yeah.
Because if somebody's looking for a band and then they're like, oh, these guys just played Anaheim Stadium, yeah, let's go with these guys.
Yeah.
You know, so all of these things give you a little more clout, and before you know it, you're bigger than you ever wanted to be.
Are you bigger than you ever wanted to be?
Listen,
Not yet.
not yet. No. When that happens, I'll let you know.
I mean, you guys have had some pretty cool experiences, though. I know I've heard more in detail, and also just I got to come check out your space where you record, Studio 606.
Yeah.
That was very cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Which, is that where you did all the songs for this last album?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's our third album out of there. I went to high school with Kenny Stoff, who ended up being the director of photography on a documentary that Dave Grohl put together called Sound City. Mm-hmm. He took the famous Neve board from that studio in Van Nuys and brought it to his studio, and wow.
And that's what you've been recording on.
Yeah, we've been working with John Lusto,
so cool.
and Lou we're just on the same page, and we get along great. He's got an amazing ear. He's an amazing drummer, and it all starts with the drums. He tells us what to do.
and we listen.
Yeah, we do. It's been an amazing experience working with him, and I tell you what, we're just in the final mixes of this album, Lost and Found.
Yeah.
We already have a date booked to record more.
Wow.
To record more.
I gotta get on that
I
calendar.
think I can talk about this. We signed a publishing deal with a music licensing company just recently.
Congratulations.
Called Marmoset, and they place music in film and TV. We've had a few deals like this before, and I don't want to get my hopes up or anything, but this is a step in the right direction.
That's great.
And we've been building this catalog, not really knowing what it was going to lead to, but when you're in position like this and you have 40, 50 songs recorded, then only good things could happen at that point.
So is it like an exclusive?
As
deal?
Far as I know, it's non-exclusive. I think we can find other avenues to put our stuff in, which those avenues are really tough. It's not easy to get those placements.
Yeah.
But if you can, we might get a song placed where that song is exclusive for a year or 2 or 3, something like that, where nobody else can license that one song.
Yeah.
So that would be great.
Totally.
Yeah.
I want the intro to a popular TV show.
Yeah, that would be huge.
That's what I've been trying to manifest all these years.
I mean,
that's your lottery ticket right there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it really just takes one song to get out there, which is interesting.
And it doesn't even have to be a good song.
No, the more I listen to the radio, I'm like, all right, I think we're doing okay.
Yeah, we're all right.
Yeah.
We need to write worse and more horrible songs. I think that's what we need to do.
I mean, at one point we kind of did dumb down the writing. I know that sounds a little bit weird, but let's write simple, catchy stuff that you could hear out there. And really, the most important is licensable music.
Right.
Not only writing that, but getting a good recording of it where it could live on.
So, I mean, what would be your top 3 tips to make it licensable?
Go to the right studio.
Okay.
Find the right producer.
Okay.
And
it ain't gonna be cheap.
Right. Yeah, and spend the extra money on getting it quality.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's 3 or not, but
that's 3.
Make those lyrics universal. Things like that. It doesn't have to be the most complicated song. My writing's real simple, and when I hand a song to Jack, he makes it. I don't even know how to describe it, but
I will embellish. I will.
Jack makes sure that it makes sense.
Right. So
he wants,
from a music theory perspective, or the lyrics
both.
itself. Okay.
From a music theory perspective and a lyrical perspective, because Jed will be like, Jed will come to me with these great ideas, and I'm like, oh yeah, dude, you can do this with it. I'll even change the time signature sometimes. Be like, hey, let's try it in 6/8.
And we did that on Dreams.
On Dreams.
A song that's going to be on the new album that I think you're going to hear on this podcast.
Yeah.
We should jam that later.
Yeah. Hey, that's a great idea.
And that was so interesting. That song really went through these different avenues that we've never really gone through to get that. And Jack was like, I don't know, man. And then finally I put a different progression on it, came back to him, because I just didn't want it to go away. I like those lyrics. I like the concept of the song. Mm-hmm. And I remember, never forget him saying, "Oh, dude, what if we switch it to 6/8?" And everything changed at that moment and became this bluesy thing that we didn't know it was going to go in that direction.
Yeah.
And it's some of those things that you got to keep pushing forward with. Some songs you keep going, and they don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
But it's important to keep going.
Right.
What is that? Was there like an initial spark of inspiration on Dreams? What was I love it. I love anything that has to do with like the unconscious mind. It's like you're learning about your psyche. I don't know. I've always been fascinated by dreams.
Well, you were having some wild dreams.
Oh, and I still am. I still am. These really crazy, vivid dreams. Maybe this led to that. I don't know. Because that was years ago when I wrote that, and I'm having even crazier dreams now for I don't know, maybe some different reasons. So it's weird. Sometimes we write these songs and they kind of like come true later.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And so when we changed it to 6/8, and then I started listening to it in that time signature, I was like, dude, this kind of sounds like the end of Saturday Night Live, when they're at the end, when the guy's blowing the saxophone, And so that inspired us to go, hey, let's call our friend Brandon and have him put a sax part on the end.
Nice.
And then we went in to the recording session with the concept of Saturday Night Live sort of thing. And so that then you can market for a placement of TV or film where it's like, oh, we need a song that sounds kind of like the Saturday Night Live theme song. Oh, here's one now, the instrumental or whatever of your song.
Is that something that you're always keeping in mind when you're writing?
Lately, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we signed with Thunder back in the day, and we got to talk to a guy that is a music supervisor and does these placements, and he gave us some really good advice on that stuff. The more like when a song that's just constantly stopping, or when you've got these breaks, that's not maybe the best thing. Something that's a little more fluid.
Interesting.
Really big keyboard swells in there, that's going to stand. You want there to be that conversation on top of the song, where that song's maybe not taking away from it. There's moments in TV and movies where it's just the song and there's no conversation on it.
Right.
Where that can create,
But you're right. If you have a song that has a lot of stops and silent breaks in there, even small breaks, it's not conducive for film and TV.
Right. And there are songs where you need those breaks.
Right.
So
you have to like kind of
a little happy medium there sometimes.
Yeah.
Pick and choose your battles with that.
And on the recording of Dreams, going into the third verse, there's a beautiful break in there that one of my favorite parts of that song. So, but it's like a 4.5 minute song.
Right. I was just gonna say it's a little bit longer. Yeah. It's not like a 2 minute song. They don't need
that exact break right there, or maybe that's the perfect break for that moment in the TV show. And I love when audio and video sync up just perfectly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Like Dark Side of the Moon and Wizard of Oz.
Which I think was just random. I don't think that meant to be by any means.
Well, it was just a bunch of guys smoking weed and doing shrooms one night, and they're like, whoa, dude, look at the thing syncing up with the TV right now. Because they put the needle down on the record.
And they're just having fun, and then they just know.
Bro, it's all synced up, man.
That's one of those beautiful things ever, if you didn't mean to do it. So,
yeah.
Those are beautiful moments in music and television.
Powerful.
It is.
Follow the yellow brick road. That's my advice. Follow the yellow brick road.
Well, speaking of yellow bricks. No, let's talk finances.
Colombian cocaine?
I would love to know, like, how do you guys make decisions when it comes to, like, spending money in music? Because you're saying, go for, like, the quality recording.
Yeah.
And I know I did, like, a fundraiser to put out the 3 singles I put out last year, and I was really happy with them. But then I was like, all right, I can't keep doing this right now.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I can come back to it, hopefully sooner than later,
We went all in on these quality recordings, and almost maybe a little bit to a fault, because then you have the recording and you got no money to market it.
That's where Mom steps in.
What?
Mom with your jacket.
yeah, sure. Well, then you can luck out, in those kind of places. But I mean, for me personally, I stopped doing drugs and alcohol, which I spent a lot of money on. And I'm like, if I just put that in the recording studio, I'm gonna have something to show forever. Even when I'm gone, these songs will still be around.
Yeah.
That was kind of my decision, and that justified spending all that money in there.
Yeah.
But we also, we bust our ass playing all these gigs.
Yeah.
And we play more than, I'm not going to say more than we should, but we really grind it out. And that's when you end up with a little extra money that you're like, well, do I go on vacation with this or do I go to the recording studio?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you like have a percentage from each gig that you put away for recording, or is it kind of like you're just like, okay, I gotta, like, you split everything and then decide? Or?
Yeah, you save up.
You play a lot of Brown Eyed Girl. A lot.
But you can do it that way.
Yeah.
You can take a percentage of each show or whatever it is and put it away.
For sure. Anything you spend on studio equipment, any of that stuff, that's a write-off.
Right.
And also it's an investment in the business. Mm-hmm. So even like when it comes down to gear, amps, guitars, pedals, microphones, studio time, you want to spend the top dollar for the best or most professional that you can get, because the stuff is just going to break, or it's not going to break on the radio because he didn't, get it in there right. Spend the money. Well, it's only money.
Some of the best advice we got was turn your band or incorporate it and become an LLC.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything is a write-off. You start as a DBA and then you switch to an LLC. It helps everything for tax purposes.
Pandemic purposes.
Yeah, it really came into play.
We were trying to tell our sister bands around the South Bay, you should incorporate.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they ever did, but when that pandemic hit, first of all, we thought we were like so cool, like, man, we survived a recession, we survived a war, we survived, all of this other stuff, the weird, elections and all the, whatever the weirdness of the world is going on.
Yeah.
People still want to go drink and listen to music and relax and forget about things.
Yeah.
Whether they're good, whether times are bad, they like to go out and drink.
Especially when times are bad.
Yeah. But we never thought a pandemic would be coming our way.
Yeah.
And that one wiped us out good. But
because you guys were playing shows like 6 nights a week or something,
6 nights a week. We went from 6 nights a week to zero shows. And so at that point we're like, because we incorporated, we were eligible for those PPP loans for small businesses. And that really helped us out and get us through. That's only because we were incorporated. Like if we weren't, we wouldn't have gotten that government assistance that we desperately, if any business needed that assistance, it was Feed the Kitty, not the LA Lakers.
Yeah. Man. Well, I incorporated last month.
Oh, good.
LLC.
Yes.
Right on.
Give it up. Hi.
Yeah. So, hopefully we won't have another pandemic, but I guess.
No, let's bring it on. Let's have another pandemic.
It'll come into play no matter what's going on. So.
Yeah.
And what is it, Jed, like $600 a year?
Well, you pay a franchise tax board of $800 a year.
$800 a year.
And it kind of sucks when you have to do that, but it's well worth it every year.
Yeah.
The other good thing about it is that it covers your ass if you're ever going to get sued. So, like, if somebody drunk runs into your speaker and it falls on somebody else and they get injured, nobody can come after you personally. They can come after your company, but not you.
Yeah.
So
we even have insurance at this point, which is not cheap either.
Right.
Like what kind of insurance?
All that like liability stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if it covers like our equipment or anything like that,
but if you injure someone, or what happens all the time, somebody falls into the band almost every night, and there is going to be a time somebody's going to get
I
really
think about
messed
it
up,
too much,
man. And so when that happens, they're going to lawyer up. They're going to sue the venue. They're going to sue you. They're going to sue whoever they can sue.
Yeah. And we're covered at that point.
And we're covered because we're incorporated. So
that's good.
Get incorporated.
Yeah. Well, and then do you guys have like an accountant that you work with?
Jed Mottley.
You do it all.
I got a finance degree from the University of Arizona, and I'm not saying I learned anything from that.
Bear down, Wildcat.
Bear down.
There we go.
We both went to U of A at different times.
Well, you learned how to do a keg stand.
Yeah, they taught me what not to do in life. And you know, we're running a small business, and I didn't just take finance. I took marketing and economics and accounting, and it's all come into play.
Yeah.
I've always loved numbers, so for me, I don't love doing that part of the job.
Sure.
But it kind of comes natural, and I feel like I'm good at it. So
nice.
That's how we do that. And hey, if we ever take this to another level, I would love to hire somebody that can take that over.
Yeah, but right now
I think fine. That's something most bands can do themselves. I think there's usually a guy in the band that can take care of that.
Yeah, or a gal.
Or absolutely.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. A better if it's a girl. She's
way
really.
Smarter. Really
knows what she's doing.
So we kind of divvy up our responsibilities within the band.
Yeah.
And Jed is the best at what he does. I gotta say, dude, you're like
thank you.
The partner of my dreams.
Well, we really can't do this without each other, and Jack is so amazing at what he does. So not easy to find a musical partner.
Yeah.
That you're still friends with, that you can still write songs with, that can divvy up these things.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of the social media stuff. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
That's great. Yeah. Well, it definitely helps to have support, you know?
Yeah.
And friends.
Yeah.
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 And weed.
I thought we were all sober. No, I'm just kidding.
I feel sober. Yeah, I'm sober.
Yeah.
Okay. Water.
Yes. Cheers. Well, thank you guys. How about we play a song?
Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's do the dreams.
All right, dreams.
All right. I've been having dreams.
Late last night, I was deep asleep. I saw the world 6 feet deep, and now I know my day will come when I'm no longer circling the sun. 'Cause I've been having dreams, been melting like an icicle, dreaming of a tropical island far away. It's never as it seems. You're dancing with a white-winged man, you're wrestling with a grizzly bear in a forest far away.
I woke up today, still in that crazy dream, trying to figure out just which songs to scream. Even as I fly with broken wings. Even a swan gets his final say. 'Cause I've been having dreams, been melting like an icicle, been dreaming of a tropical island far away. It's never what it seems when you're dancing with a white-winged man, you're wrestling with your teddy bear in a forest far away. heavenly tolls to pay.
'Cause in this crazy world, we only get that one life. So I'm gonna do my best to try to make it right.
I've been having dreams.
Oh, I've been having dreams.
Melting like an icicle.
Melting like an icicle.
Dreaming of a tropical.
Dreaming of a tropical.
Island far away.
Far away.
It's never what it seems.
It's never what it seems.
You're dancing with a white-winged man.
Dancing with a white-winged man.
Dancing with your teddy bear.
Dance with your teddy bear.
The forest far away.
Far, far away.
'Cause I've been having dreams.
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 Dreams, 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 dreams. If you enjoyed this episode, you know the deal. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. You can now save our version of Dreams live on Spotify and all streaming platforms.